Hello everyone. I am Manoj Kumar, Assistant Professor at G. Pillardi Engineering College, Kurnool. Welcome to ETABS tutorial series designed to benefit students and beginners alike. Throughout this series, we will cover everything basics from the ETABS software to the complete design of the high-rise buildings. Let's start our today's topic, ETABS. So coming to the introduction to the ETABS, ETABS stands for Extended Three-Dimensional Analysis of Building System. And this software is designed by the Computers and Structures Incorporated. And this ETABS is specially designed for the building analysis and design especially. So next we'll come to the ETABS software. So based on this software, today we will discuss about the interface of the ETABS. So you can see in the screen. So whenever you open the ETABS software, the interface will be looking like this. So in this, we will having this main menu bar, and here you are having toolbars. So this toolbar is up to this point is called as standard toolbar. From here to here it is design toolbar. So let's first start the new model. So whenever you click onto the new model, you will get one window. So this window is called as model initialization. So based on this window, you can select the settings. You can change the settings of the this entire ETABS. So you can see here by clicking the first option, use saved user default settings. That means initially whatever the default settings you are having, those things only it will taking. So next optional is use settings from a model file. So from this option, so whatever the model that you are created before, so based on that model units only, this option will taking the units. And next third option is use built-in settings with. That means whatever the units that you need, those things you can customize on your own based on the third option, that is use built-in settings with. So here you can see again we are having four options. In this, first option is display units. Here we are having three kinds of units again. One is US customary, second one is metric SI, third one is metric MKS. So here as we are Indians, so here you can see everything will be in SI units only we are following, right? So then you can click on metric SI. Again we are having some codes. Steel section database. So that is, here you can see we are having here I am selecting Indian database, and next steel design code. So here we are having Indian design steel design code, that is IS 800 2007. I am clicking here, and concrete design code is IS 456 2000. IS 456 2000. Here you can see that code also is there. So next click on OK. So after clicking the OK button, so one more window will be open like this. So here you can see this grid dimension is there. So in this grid dimension we are having two options. One is uniform grid spacing, one more is custom grid spacing. So here you can see uniform grid spacing means from one grid to the another grid. For example, if you are having three base of building, so that three base are also having the uniform spacing. So for that purpose only you can use this uniform grid spacing. Otherwise you can click onto the custom grid spacing to customize your spacing of the grids. So these are the two options that we are having in the grid dimensions. So one more option is there, that is story dimension. Here you can see that story dimension is number of stories, how many stories you are going to design, and what is the typical story height, and what is the bottom story height. Those things we have to give in these columns. So here I am just by introducing the ETABS software, I am using this uniform grid spacing option itself. I'm not at all changing any option over here. So why? Because just I'm introducing the ETABS interface to you. So by clicking on OK, here we'll get three kinds of windows. This is two-dimensional window and this is three-dimensional window. This is our model explorer. Okay, here you can see. So coming to the basics of the ETABS. So first we will do the model. So after modeling the building only, we are analyzing the entire building elements. After that only we are going to do the designs of the building elements. So initially, while making the model, first we need to define the material properties. We need to define the material properties and section properties. See here, you can see here you can go to the define option. First, if you go define option, there you can see the material properties, section properties. So whatever the model you are creating initially, for that model, first we need to make the grids options. After that only you just create the material properties and section properties. So here you can see I am just introducing all over the options. That's it on this video. So first go to the material properties. Here you can see the one window. So here you can create one new material. So that is for that reason you just click on to the add new model. So then here I am selecting Indian country, India. So then material type, here I am going to give the concrete material property. So here you can see these are the different kinds of concrete grades we are having. So here I am selecting M25 for instance. So click on OK. Then it will open again this window. So here you can see this M25 grade concrete, the directional symmetric type is isotropic. So there is no changes in all these things. Here you can see modulus of elasticity for the M25 grade concrete, it is 25,000 megapascal, and Poisson's ratio for concrete is 0.2. Coefficient of thermal expansion is this one. Shear modulus is this one. So whatever the grade you are changing, so based on that grade only you are getting this modulus of elasticity and shear modulus. That entire formula is already written in this software. So next I am going to click on to the OK. So here you can see the M25 grade concrete already created. Now I wanted to create steel grade. So that for that reason again I am selecting the add new model, new property. So add new material. So then click on to the this material type. So whatever the material property that you need to create, so those material only you need to select over here. So here for giving reinforcement property, here I am selecting rebar option. So based on that option, here you are having different kinds of grades of the steel. So here I am selecting HYSD grade F415. So then click OK button. Then you'll get this kind of window. Here you can see. So this is rebar. So here you can see modulus of elasticity is 2000, 2 into 10 power 5 MPa. So then you just click onto the OK button. So see here, this is M25 grade concrete material property already added, and Fe415 grade of steel also added. So this is about defining the material properties. So next I am going to show you the section property option. So in this section properties, we can create the size of the column, next size of the beam and size of the slabs. Also you can create wall sections also. That means you can create the shear walls, whatever the shear wall dimensions are there now. So those shear wall dimensions also you can create based on the section properties. So initially I'm showing the frame sections. In this frame sections, we can create the column and beam properties. See here. So by clicking that frame properties, this kind of window will be open. So here we are having a lot of properties, but we need to add new property for our required column and required beam sizes. So for that reason, first I am going to delete all these properties. For that option, here you are having delete multiple properties. See here. So first click on this option and drag until this bottom. So that means that you are selecting all the properties and deleting all the selected frame sections here. So here again do one more time. So this is how you can delete the multiple properties. So after this, I'm going to add new property. So let us say if you want to create the beam size of 230 by 300, so then create add new property, and here we are having multiple options for the section shape. So here I am clicking on concrete rectangular option and click on this concrete option. So then property name, here you can see the property name. So let us say here I am creating beam of size 230 mm by 300. So here I am giving all the name of the structural element and size of the structural element over here. So next select the material. So whatever the grade we have already defined in the material definition, so those things you can see here. So now I am selecting M25 grade. So after that, here I need to change the dimensions of the section. So that section is depth I am giving 300 mm and width is 230 mm. So also you can see in the right top corner that preview of the size of the beam. So next you can choose this option modify. So here you can see cross section area is unit. Those things you can change according to the your code books. Okay. So next I am clicking on to the reinforcement option. Here we are having reinforcement option. In this reinforcement, you can see modify or show rebar properties. So here we are having design type. In this design type also we are having two kinds of options. One is column, one more is beam. So actually this property is related to the beam. That is the reason I am selecting this M3 design only, right? Here you can see one more option is there regarding the rebar material. In that longitudinal bars grade that you need to select. So here we have already assigned HYSD 415 grade steel in the material property. So that option only I'm selecting over here. So after that confinement bars also I'm selecting for HYSD 415 and just simply I'm clicking on OK. So next this is click on to the OK. So here you can see beam property are also created, and this ISLB also I am deleting. So now creating the column property. So go to the add new property, again same select the concrete rectangular and then concrete. Then you can see you just give the name that is column, and size of the column is 230 by 450. Here I am giving. So select the material M25 grade concrete and change these dimensions of the column. That is 450 is my depth and width is 230. So next click on to the reinforcement option, that is modifier show rebar, and here we need to select the column, that is PM2 M3 design column. So based on this option, we are having one more option is rebar material. Here also you just select HYSD 415. Here also HYSD 415. So in this, again we are having different kinds of columns are there, that is rectangular columns or circular columns. So whatever the column that you are designing, so that option only you need to select. For example, if you are creating the column of rectangle, then you can click on rectangle. Otherwise you just go for circular. If it is circular column, then click on to the circular. So based on our discussion, so just I have selected that rectangular column itself. So then I'm clicking on this rectangular. So then confinement bar is there. That confinement bar is it's like lateral ties. For rectangular option, rectangular column, we are having only one option, that is lateral ties. And in the check or design option, we are having two kinds of things again, that is reinforcement to be checked and reinforcement to be designed. If you are checking the column, then you just click on to the reinforcement to be checked, or else if you want to design the reinforcement column, then you just click on to the reinforcement to be designed. So this is about the rectangular and lateral ties of the column. If you click onto the circular, this spiral option also highlighting over here. You can see here, this option also will be, you can highlight it, right? So this is the thing, this is the only change over here. So here I'm selecting again rectangular lateral ties. Here I wanted to design the column itself. That is the reason I selected this reinforcement to be designed. So remaining thing, you know, do not worry about all these things. You just click on OK. So then click OK. So here you can see two properties I have already created. One is beam property, one more is column property. So next I'm clicking OK button. So next, if you want to define the one more property, that is slab sections. So then if you want to define the thickness of the slab, then you just go to the define option, then section property, and come to the slab section. So here you can click onto the slab section and you can add the new property here. So here I am giving as slab, that is 125 mm, and here you can see that thickness of the slab is 125. I am giving over here. So material of the slab is M25 grade concrete again. So this is about the slab property, and I am clicking OK button over here. So these two, if you, we do not need, then you just delete this property, and here also you just delete this property again. Click on OK button. So this is the basic material property definitions and defining the section properties. So majorly in this entire ETABS, the first two important point is defining the material properties and defining the section properties. These two we have covered in this video, and a few things I'll explain regarding all this interface of this thing. You can see. So if you want to actually this entire dimensions are mentioned in a 6 meters itself. So you can see in the second window, you can see here, you can see here we are having the dimensions of the grids in terms of the meters. If you want to change this entire meters into feet, here you can see top bottom right corner we are having one option, that is units. So here you just click onto the units, and if you change that entire units into US defaults, then this entire meters will be converted into feet. There you can see, here you can see those meters already converted into feet. This is one more option. Whenever if you want to change the units, then you just click on to the units option that is given bottom right corner. Again you just click onto the metric SI defaults, then it will convert it into meters. See here. So this is the interface of the ETABS, right? So this is also a toolbar, right? So here one more option I'm going to show you in this video, that is go to the options and click onto the customize toolbar. So if you click onto the customize toolbar, you can see different kinds of options over here, that is draw, select, snap, assign joint, assign frame. So like standard and design. See, whatever the toolbars that we are having now, those things I'll show you over here. If I'm unselecting the standard, then this entire bar, this entire toolbar will be gone. You can see over here. So see, so this toolbar is already unselected. So that is the reason here you cannot see any toolbars over here. This toolbar is called standard toolbar. And coming to the design toolbar, this is called design toolbar. You can see I am unselecting this design toolbar option over here. That will be not showing over here. See, this is about the design toolbar. You can see in the top right corner, that is design toolbar, right? So this is about the standard toolbar, and this is about the design toolbar. These are the things you can see in the options menu bar. In the options menu bar, go to the customize toolbar, then you can see all those things. See, so for today's topic, this is the thing. Just I am wanted to introduce the interface of the ETABS software. That is the reason I just given a brief idea about the material property and section properties over here. So thank you.